Thanks for staying with us. Yesterday, we spoke to the uMhlanga Ratepayers Association, and they were very unhappy with the water woes and other service delivery issues that they've been battling. Residents yesterday telling us that while the water has been restored, they say that they are sceptical that the supply will be consistent. And they also say that possibly the problem may be that the city does not have the required skills to address what they call a crisis. Let's speak to Jabulani Mayise, who's eThekwini Municipality Water Operations Acting Deputy Head. Jabulani, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Residents say that the water crisis appears to be man-made as opposed to be a problem with the system. How does the city respond?
Thank you so much. I think I'll respond in two ways because the supply has got two alternative feeds. So one is the smaller supply, which yes was man-made from our assessment, where two wells were vandalized and one was stolen. However, this is just a smaller feed that supplies uMhlanga. The bigger feed, which is called the Northern Aqueduct, which is called dual pipelines. That one, it was not man-made. However, it was the issue of air vacuums within the entire pipeline. We've got about 31 kilometers of pipeline from Reservoir Hills to uMhlanga. So that one, it was the issue of air vacuums, which we are still investigating. How did it happen that the air vacuums ended up blocking the pathway of water? Because normally, when you empty the pipeline, you must get air in, and then when you start putting water into the pipeline, then air must exit via the air valves. In this case, we're trying to ascertain what happened that led to the air vacuums not exiting the pipeline, hence trapping water, the passage of water.
So the city didn't get any warnings with this regard?
The problem did not occur overnight. It started on the 16th, where we started noticing the drop in pressure to about 8 reservoirs in uMhlanga and Durban North. And then that's when we started investigation, but we thought it was a localized problem. However, the problem turned to be bigger than we thought.
Yeah. So one of the things, of course, is that for them, they're concerned that, you know, the water, as much as it's back right now, it may not be something that they will have for a long period of time, because they believe that as the city, you are not employing the right people to be able to take care of some of these challenges that the systems may face from time to time. So for them, it seems like this is a skills issue. And I wonder if the city is looking into that and believes that you have the right people for the right jobs.
For now, I say we do have skilled personnel. We've got registered engineers as well as technicians, skilled artisans that come to our system need to be registered. However, we must acknowledge that we also need to improve in terms of the skills, especially the artisan fitters and so forth, which are people who do servicing of these large diameter valves.
Jabulani, there was also something when it comes to the reports, you know, leading into the long weekend about some of the beaches there that had the high levels of E. coli in them. And that's, of course, having those who are running businesses in areas like uMhlanga, for example, unhappy, saying that this is having an impact on their businesses. And I wonder what is the latest then in terms of that particular situation.
Okay, the city has made some significant progress in terms of restoring all the wastewater treatment plants. However, we also need assistance from especially the companies as well as the community. Because we found that in most instances, like the recent blockage in the uMhlanga pump, it was foreign objects that were thrown by one of the companies in the locality. So it caused the pump to trip. So it's not only the issue of maintenance, but the foreign objects that find its way to our treatment plants.
Are these conversations happening with the residents? Because they're saying that for them, they have meetings with the city, but the city keeps on saying they'll work on issues, but they're not really getting to the bottom of what's going on. So are these conversations happening between yourselves and them to raise issues around these foreign objects, but also to address some of the concerns they're raising?
I'll say it does. especially with the ward councillors, because they do an oversight on everything that we do. Or there's also engagement between the city as well as the various ratepayers. So those engagements are ongoing. There's also education departments that are engaging with various schools so that the education can reach everyone within the Jabulani Municipality.
So, Jabulani, I'm going to ask you a final question then, which relates to that report that was released by the Human Rights Commission recently, which looks at the state of water in KwaZulu-Natal. One of the things that it says about, eThekwini, for example, including uMhlanga, is that you appear to now be having capacity issues in terms of supply because the demand is high, and it does look like there are challenges there in terms of demand and supply. I wonder what plans are being put in place by the city to address this.
But I think Durban is one of the cities where there's employment opportunities, so everyone is moving into the city, hence the growth in population and densification. So our supply obviously is constrained, but that means to the issue of ensuring that there's available water resources that are put in place. So we are working with the Department of Water and Sanitation. I think we are, there is a new dam that is currently proposed, so construction will commence anytime soon, pending funding availability.
All right, Jabulani, let me thank you for your time. Thank you so much for that update. That is Jabulani Mayise, eThekwini Municipality Water Operations Acting Deputy Head, giving us a sense of how things are looking like on the waterfront today, as we heard from the community members who were complaining from uMhlanga, saying that for them, they would like to make sure that the water issues are addressed once and for all.